Sydney shows the world how it's done with a breathtaking fireworks display. A handful of arrests, but police praise partygoers for their good behaviour. Also on the river or at the beach, we enjoy a real burst of summer. New Year babies born into the new paid parental leave scheme. And the Aussie cricketers relaxed with the PM ahead of the final Ashes test.
This is 9 News with Alison Langdon.
Good evening. Sydney has raised the bar yet again, welcoming in the new year with a stunning fireworks display and an unforgettable party. And we impressed worldwide with a record television audience of 1.1 billion people.
Sydney was out to show the world it had the X Factor.
3, 2, 1.
Billed as the best New Year's party on the planet, it met all expectations.
Every time they go over, I'm like, wow! I'm so excited!
7 tons of pyrotechnics exploded in 12 spectacular minutes. On the harbour's edge, on boats, balconies and rooftops, 1.5 million people watched in awe. The verdict was unanimous.
I think I'm gonna cry because I came from Italy to see the fireworks, the best of the world. It's beautiful here.
We come from Germany.
I thought they were great. Best fireworks show I've seen.
Earlier, thousands of families flocked to the alcohol-free zones for the 9 o'clock show, and it too was dazzling.
It's the best fireworks show ever! So awesome!
We always watch it on TV, but the kids wanted to come and see it, so it was worth it.
But as always, you can't please everyone.
They were so loud!
As the parents and kids headed home,
We've had enough.
the rest got down to some serious partying to say farewell to 2010. And so to 2011.
Resolutions, girls? Resolutions?
For this guy, it started with meditation, or whatever this is. For many others, it began with a sore head. Tim McMillan, 9 News.
While there's no doubt partygoers had a lot of fun last night, the vast majority were also well behaved. Just 40 arrests were made across Sydney, a dramatic drop from last year.
Lights, camera, action, and there was plenty of it. If the harbour's the main arena for New Year's Eve, the city is Sideshow Alley.
Catch the camera.
Bloodied and boozed, 40 people woke up in a watch house this morning. Not the way you want to spend a new year.
Did I touch you? Why are you getting pleasure out of
We weren't, and neither were police. They were attacked and tested time and time again. Officers nursed drunks and the drugged in Bondi, cuffed and carted away thugs in the Cross, and desperately tried to make out the fallen from the fools. Dozens were searched in the CBD for weapons. 4 were arrested with knives, while 2 teenagers were winched to safety after falling onto train tracks at McMahon's Point. And 1 man had to be rescued by water police after trying to swim under the harbour bridge. Overall, arrests were substantially down thanks to widespread no glass, no alcohol zones across Sydney.
I'm convinced that's gone a long way to seeing the results that have been achieved tonight.
And for paramedics, this was their new year, a steady stream of ambulances taking those who were injured, those who were drunk to hospital. Millions managed to escape the city unscathed though, queuing in cars and lining for buses and trains well after midnight, even though it was standing room only. Eventually, Sydney finally slept. The thin blue line got thinner and the big clean-up began. Davina Smith, 9 News.
AFL player Brendan Favola was arrested in Brisbane last night as he welcomed in the new year. The 29-year-old has been charged with public nuisance and obstructing police. He'll face court later this month. The Brisbane Lions have granted him indefinite leave from the club. Well, Sydney was one of the first major cities to celebrate the arrival of 2011, setting a very high standard for the world to follow.
Clap your hands, clap your hands. Turn the lights on my night, 'cause the lights on me on, I ain't got one dream.
New York, and 1 million people jammed into Times Square. The city that never sleeps, dropping the ball on the start of a new decade. London radiated. After fears on the one day when every moment is critical, Big Ben wasn't keeping perfect time. Clockmakers at Westminster convinced the mechanism was running about a second slow, but he didn't let them down. 13 hours earlier, our Kiwi neighbours, the first in the world to welcome in 2011. Auckland's Sky Tower ablaze. High above Hong Kong, an impressive flare, while Taipei exploded. And the world's highest tower illuminated in the lustre of 1,000 lights. A freezing Moscow shimmered through the heavy snow, while in the most romantic city in the world, one of the most fitting ways to see in the new year, a glass of the finest champagne. Kiri Blenkinsop, 9 News.
It's been a very wet summer so far, and today Sydney embraced the blast of heat. Whether it was at the beach or on the river, there were plenty of ways to keep cool.
Nothing like a scorcher to plunge into the new year. Parramatta Pool, the little one splashed. While parents picnicked, a menu designed for keeping cool. What do you think of this weather?
Oh, it's too hot.
With the temperature reaching 37 degrees at nearby Homebush at 12:30 this afternoon, it was worth every bite. Further west, it was even hotter. At Penrith, the mercury soared, reaching 39 degrees at 4:30. Families took refuge on their boats.
And it's horrendous, but on the water it was nice.
The Nepean River provided the perfect backdrop for a jet ski joyride.
Well, there's not much to do in this weather, besides swim or stay inside.
But while they sweltered in the west, thousands flocked to Sydney's beaches. At Bondi, the sun didn't deter beachgoers keeping up appearances. In the city, it was slightly cooler. By 11 a.m, it had already reached its peak of 29 degrees. No problems for the thousands who crammed into the Field Day Music Festival at the Domain. Believe it or not, forecasters say we're expecting one of the wettest summers we've seen in years.
What we can see at this stage is the La Nina, which has been governing the above-average rainfall for much of Queensland, and we think we're still going to see above-average rainfall for southeastern Queensland, northeast New South Wales.
Dimity Clancy joins us now from Penrith, where temperatures peaked for Sydney. And Dimity, is this heat expected to last?
Well, Ali, it's only just started to cool down out here now, and I'm told more of these scorching temperatures are on the way tomorrow morning. But by the afternoon, some showers should develop, and that will, of course, help to bring down these really high temperatures. And so that should provide some relief for the last couple of days of the Christmas break. Ali?
OK, thanks there, Dimity. With the new year comes a lot of changes, and sadly, not all of them are good. From today, many of Sydney's toll roads will go up in price. However, you will get a tax break if you're buying your first home.
We're ringing in the new year and ringing in the changes. From today, our toll roads become more expensive. Drivers on the M2 will now pay $2.75 a trip, up 50 cents. The M7, which is distance-based tolling, is going up to 34.6 cents a kilometre. The Lane Cove Tunnel is up $2.83 from $2.80, and the Cross City Tunnel has risen by 4 cents to $2.10.
Tolls vary in line with inflation, which is measured by CPI.
Bruno and Laura are window shopping for their first home. From today, they'll receive the $7,000 first home buyers grant if they spend up to $835,000. The cut-off has increased from $750,000.
If someone handed me $7,000 now, I'd take it and be very happy for it, but come on, when you're talking about houses, it's not like it doesn't help that much, let's be honest.
They'll also be exempt from stamp duty.
And here's something for everyone. We've all been given an extra point on our driver's licence from 12 to 13, making it harder to lose your licence. For professionals like taxi drivers and truckies, that number goes to 14.
That's crazy. It doesn't matter. I got 12 points anyway. I don't lose my points. I respect them.
I lost 3 at one stage, so yeah, give me a bit of breathing space.
And 1 point doesn't make too much difference if you're caught.
Put your seatbelt on.
Lizzie Pearl, 9 News.
Floodwaters are tonight surging into the Queensland town of Rockhampton. Lane Cathcart is there. And Lane, when is the Fitzroy River expected to hit its peak?
Well, Ellie, they're expecting a peak on late on Tuesday or early on Wednesday. At this stage, they're saying it could be about 9.4 metres and possibly go much higher than that. They're saying over 200 homes are likely to have water through them, possibly even more than that. But Rockhampton's already being isolated. The airport was closed today. Hundreds of tourists and locals got out on the available flights that were there before lunchtime, before the airport closed. Now, the bad news is that the airport could be closed for another 3 weeks after that. The rail line's been cut, the roads to the west and the south will also be cut, and Rocky could be isolated this way right up until the middle, possibly the end of the month. The only certainty tonight here in Rocky is that the city is facing a very tough start to the new year, Ali.
OK, thanks there, Lane.